So today's talk is going to be about me breaking into cybersecurity, coming from a fast food background. So we go to the next slide. So a little bit about me: I am a technical trainer. You can find me as KevTech IT Support. My name is Kevin Pornorio. I'm a top voice on LinkedIn. I have 83,000 followers on YouTube. I have about 95,000 followers on LinkedIn. And I cover everything from IT support, system admin, cybersecurity. I come from a restaurant background. I started out in restaurants, so I did 12 years in a restaurant. I also did about roughly 4 years in the NYPD, so I worked for the NYPD. I also went to John Jay College. I am partnered with Peter Klein, which is from Boost to Books. We do training for veterans. We help veterans get into IT. Boost to Books is a veteran-owned platform, so we try to help veterans get into IT. I'm also partnered with Simon Lindstedt, which is Simon Lindstedt is part of InfoSec Live. So he has a company called InfoSec Live, and it's free. So you want to get free cybersecurity resources, you go to him. I'm also friends with Josh Mason. I'm friends with Paul Cummings, and Paul Cummings is part of the whole Cyber Human Initiative. And basically, they do Security Plus training for free. I am also the chapter director for Raices Cyber. So I handle all the events going on for New York City. So if you're in New York, and if you ever want to do like a capture the flag, you want to like I guess collab with me or collab with anyone on our team, let me know, and we'll get you to the right person, or you can just talk to me directly. And we set up events. We set up different types of events. It could be anything from capture the flag. It could be anything from try hack me, hack the box. It could be anything from let's learn a new skill. So like I work for Raices Cyber. Raices Cyber is an organization that does training for Latinos, Latinas. We are also partners with Blacks in Cybersecurity. We're partners with Women in Cybersecurity. And I am partnered with a lot of different YouTube channels. And someone was asking a question about Raices Cyber in Detroit. I would not know that question. You would have to go to raicescyber.org and ask them that question directly. I wouldn't know. I only manage the New York area. I don't manage the other states. I know we have Raices Cyber in Santo Domingo, Raices Cyber in Puerto Rico, I believe, Raices Cyber in Ecuador, Raices Cyber in Philly, Raices Cyber in Chicago. Those are the ones that I'm familiar with. Raices Cyber in Florida. So those are all the ones that I'm familiar with. For Detroit, I have no idea. You would have to ask them. All right, go to the next slide. So yeah, my experience in restaurants, a funny story. I'm trying not to make it long because I don't want to bore you guys to death. So I started in restaurants. So I worked at Qdoba. I worked in a Chinese restaurant. I worked at a pizzeria. I worked at a Chipotle Qdoba Mexican Grill restaurant. I worked in an Italian restaurant. I worked at a pizzeria. One of my first jobs, was a bag boy for a supermarket. So I started working at the age of 11. So I worked at age 11 as a bag boy. And like, Kev, that's illegal. You can't have, you can't be 11 years old and work for as a bag boy for a supermarket. And so what they did was they had my mom would work in the supermarket alongside me, and she had to sign a form saying that I was allowed to work there. So I started working when I was 11 years old. I worked as a bag boy. I, just packed the bags, and people will come to me to feel bad for me because I was a little kid, right? So I was like 11 years old. Oh, mijito, oh my God, this kid, oh, he's trying to make money. So people just gave me like tips and everything. So I did that when I first started at 11 years old, and I had bills to pay, so I had to work, right? There's no workaround for that, right? So I did that because my mom and dad, they worked at a sewing factory. So they worked at a sewing factory. So they were making $4 or $5 an hour. So we weren't making a lot of money, and I was going to school, so we needed money to pay bills, right? So I was working, and and I got into a restaurant when I was like around 14 years old. Worked at a pizzeria. Then I worked at a Chinese restaurant, and the funny thing about Chinese restaurant is like I worked in a Chinese restaurant, and they would write everything in Chinese, and like you have to sabe, like you have to sabe means right? And I'm like, I have no idea what you're saying, or I have no idea what you're writing. So they wrote everything in Chinese. So all I would do is, just write me the phone number, and I'll call the customer. And when the customer picks up the phone, I'll confirm the street address, their phone number, and everything. I write the number, but I confirm where they live at. So I would just write it in English, and then I would go and travel to that customer. And obviously, at that time, we didn't have GPS. The GPS was not that advanced. So I would use a paper map. So I had a paper map, I had a paper map with me and my dad would work together. I had a paper map, and I would look at the paper map like, oh, we're right here right now. All right, let's go over here and take that delivery order. So we would split up. Like he'll drop me off real close, and I would walk to the spot to deliver the food, and my dad would drive away to the other direction and do what he has to do. And I would just go there and do all the deliveries in that same area by walking. So I did Chinese restaurant, pizzeria. My uniform on the right is in Qdoba. I worked at a Mexican grill restaurant. My uniform on the left is when I worked for a Japanese asset management company. So I did financial services, and I did everything from working at Blackstone Group. I have customer service with JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, White Buzz Advisors, APR Global Park, Bridgewater. I worked with a lot of big financial services, Silver Peak Real Estate, MUFG, Capital Analytics. So I worked with a lot of financial firms. I started working for the Department of Education. So I'm gonna take a step back. So it's like this is the other side of my story when I got started in IT. So like when I went online and asked for help on social media, no one would help me. So I asked for help on Reddit. People would make fun of me. People would like belittle me and basically talk crap about me and made me feel bad. It's like I don't even know if I want to work IT because people make me feel bad. And it's like, should I even work IT because people make me feel dumb and silly? Like I don't even know if this is for me. And then I was discouraged even more when I failed my A plus twice in a row. So I failed my A plus twice in a row because I'm coming from a restaurant background. So you got to understand that I don't know what hardware is. I don't know what a mouse is, what a keyboard is. I don't know what a motherboard is. I don't know what the North Bridge is, what the South Bridge is. I don't know what a CMOS battery is. All that stuff that they teach you in the A plus. I didn't know any of that stuff. So I started reading the book. I watched Professor Messer. I used Mike Myers as the book, and I started to get my fundamentals. And then the people that literally helped me out with the military veterans. So I reached out to the veterans. The veterans were like, "Oh, Kev, come here, man. We got you, bro. We help civilians. We got you, Kev." Like, oh, okay. And they told me about the CompTIA A plus, Network Plus, Security Plus, and then that's where I went to Brooklyn Adult Learning Center, and I got my first training in A plus when I went to that school. And my professor taught me like fundamentals, and I was migrating everyone from Windows XP to Windows 7 when I worked for that school. So I literally migrated over 100 PCs from XP to 7. And my professor was like, I think you're ready to get a job. I think you're ready to work for IT. Let me see if I get the manager to come and interview you. So I went and I remember like that was Friday. That was on Friday. And then I came in Monday with a student attire, excuse me. And I was ready for that interview. I'm like, let's go, let's do it. I was ready. I was amped up right for that interview. And the manager showed up and he hired me. Literally, he interviewed me and he hired me because of my personality. Nothing to do with my tech skills, more of my soft skills. So because I come from a restaurant background and he liked how good I was with customer service, he literally took a chance on me and he hired me. And then yeah, I've been in IT for over 10 years after that. And yeah, if you look at my like I said, like I learned about the A plus. I upgraded computers from XP to 7. I got trained from my teacher. I realized the fundamentals are super duper important. And I did Professor Messer. I did Mike Myers to pass the A plus. Someone asked me A plus was tough kiddos on your experience. Do you have an update your certification? No, I haven't updated my certification. I haven't had the need to because of my experience being in IT. Because I've been in IT for 10 years, so I don't have like. You gotta understand like you get certifications. Some are relevant, some are not relevant. As you get more experience is very important when it comes later on in your career. Experience plays an important factor. Like you have experience is king when it comes to IT. Obviously, if you work for the Department of Defense or any government jobs, you need to have like A plus, Member Plus, Security Plus. But if you're not working for government agencies, you're working for like MSP companies, maybe financial services, maybe something that's not that's not government related, then yeah, you won't need any certification. You just have to have experience. That's been my personal experience. So and yeah, and then I worked from the Department of Education and from the DOE from the Department of Education. So you got to have the A plus for the Department of Education. That was my first job. I did the A plus. I got it. I failed twice in a row and I got it. Then I went to I went from that. I went from that to working for an Apple company. So I worked for an Apple company. I was Apple Mac Repair. So I did MacBook Airs, MacBook Pros, MacBook iPad Pros, everything, iPhones, everything Apple. So I was a repair guy for them. I had my ACMT, which is your Apple Certified Macintosh Technician certification. So you got to have that certification if you're gonna do Mac repair. So I did Mac repair, and I did that for a couple of months. Then I left that job, and then I went to an MSP company, which is a really big MSP company that is well known right now. And I worked for them, and I got my job because of my home labs. So literally, I got my first job in an MSP company was because of my home lab. So when I went to a job interview, because the thing is that when I went to that job, before I even got into that job, I went online on Indeed and I was looking for jobs online. And they said, "Oh, you must have Active Directory. You must have Active Directory." And I'm like, what the heck is Active Directory? So I went online and looked at every job that I went to look at online was asking about Active Directory. So I didn't know how to do that. So I was like, okay, let me learn how to do that. So I built a home lab using virtualization, and I set up server 22R2 at the time, and I installed Active Directory from scratch. Then I created user accounts. I did password reset, account creation. I did a bunch of stuff on a lab environment. Then I added that experience. I put it on my resume. And I remember I applied to this MSP job, and they asked me, "Oh, how familiar are you with Active Directory?" And I said, "Oh, I have a server set up on a virtual environment, and I installed Active Directory from scratch. I'm familiar with password reset, account creation, security groups. I'm also familiar with unlocking passwords, unlocking user accounts, creating user passwords, and all that good stuff. I'm familiar with group policy. And the reason why you should hire me for this job is because I have all the skills you're asking for in the job posting, which will make you the perfect candidate for this job." So I gave them that answer. They liked that answer, and they hired me on the spot. So literally how I got my job. So I did that MSP company. They gave me a job because of the skills that I learned from myself. I literally built a lab and learned myself, right? So that's how I got started in that job. And so I'm asking about the Google Cybersecurity certification. It's a good certification, but it's not going to get you a job. That's good. That's more like the Google Cybersecurity one. I made a video on that on YouTube. It's good entry level cert to help you get some understanding of cybersecurity, but that's not going to get you a job. It's going to help you with some information to pass the Security Plus, because I have taken it myself, but it's not going to help you get a security job. It's good information though. All right. So I'm going to the next slide. And then before I even go over the stuff on the slide here, but I did the MSP company. Then I worked at Blackstone Group, which is a large financial firm. Then I worked for a company called Your Capital Management. It's another well-known firm. Then I worked for a fintech company, so I did financial services. The fun one was a Japanese company. So I worked for a Japanese asset management company, and you guys are gonna laugh your asses off because the Japanese company, they had all the laptops were in Japanese. So the CEO gave me his laptop. Like, he literally gave me his phone, his laptop. Here, Kev, here, and it's in Japanese. And I'm like, shoot, I don't even know how to fix this because this is in Japanese. You won me over with that one. You got me, man. I lost in this one because it's all in Japanese. I have no idea what this says. He's like, Kevin-san, you figure it out. You know. And I'm like struggling for like 20 minutes trying to like troubleshoot this laptop, troubleshoot this iPhone. And the CEO is just staring at me, like watching me, struggle for 30 minutes. He's like, "I'll put it in English for you." And he finally put it in English. I'm over here with my Google translator trying to scan the laptop, the menu and everything. This is in Japanese. And I'm like, I don't even know what this button does. So it was a funny experience. I worked for the Japanese company for about 2 years, and the CEO was super cool, like super chill CEO. It was so funny. I had a really good time working in that company, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. And then a couple of years later, I went to cybersecurity. We'll go over that in the slides. So for someone that's brand new, my experience is based on this presentation I'm showing you right now. So like, I would look at the A+. If you want to get some free information on getting fundamentals, I definitely recommend looking at Professor Messer or Mike Myers if you have no experience. Right now, they have Mike Myers, they have Professor Messer, they have Justin Dion, they have Tech G. Obviously, learning your fundamentals, obviously build a home lab. You can add that experience to your resume when you're applying for jobs. And if you're not familiar with hardware, you can open up your own PC to learn about hardware fundamentals, right? So learn about computers, memory, drives, PC parts. So those things are very important. Obviously, you could volunteer. You could volunteer in IT if you're trying to get into IT. Like volunteer to like B-sides, volunteer like Black Hat, volunteer to like DEF CON. There are conferences out there where you could volunteer, and then if someone happens to be hiring, you could just say, "Oh, I'm looking for a job," and you can give them a copy of your resume. That does happen a lot in real life. So, you could volunteer for Blacks in cybersecurity. You could volunteer for women in cybersecurity. You could volunteer for me, like I'm part of Rice Cyber, whatever works for you, right? And you could work for nonprofit jobs. You could volunteer your time. You could freelance. Obviously, when it comes to getting a job, it goes to your LinkedIn profile as well. Networking is important. Like it's not always what you know, it's who you know. Those things are very important. I'm gonna go to the next slide. So, like I said, building a home lab, like if you got a little lab for IT support, learn about Windows 7, 10, 11. Some companies still use 7, believe it or not. You gotta get you may have to have A+. You could get Office 365 for free for 30 days, or just Google Office 365 admin. You can learn about Exchange Admin Center, SharePoint admin. Obviously, Office 365 is browser-based, so you don't got to pay anything. And also, you don't need a lot of resources. You just need your browser, and that's it. And obviously, make sure your resume is tech-related. If it's not tech-related, no one's going to call you. So that's just, it goes back to the resume. If your resume is bad, no one's going to call you. I'm just being realistic, right? So make sure it's tech-related. And then these are examples. These are actually real examples of this year of people that got jobs. This is real life examples. These guys got jobs. They're on my Discord. I have a free Discord, and they got valuable experience building labs. Like the guy Nesto, he's been on my Discord for almost 2.5 years, and now he's a manager. He's making double his salary. It took him 17 years to make that. It took him 17 years to make money in retail, and he has no certs, no degree. He just got promoted in his company as a manager. So comes to show you like dedication and perseverance, anything is possible, right? And then this other person, 920, is kind of recent. It's literally last month. This person took my course on Server 2022 and he got a job in IT. And then the person before that, you look at 814, right? It's August, right? They got a job as well, right? So, those things are important, right? So, learning, yeah, exactly. Learning never stops. So those things are very important. And then if you want to build a home lab, you need to have a Windows 10 Pro or Windows 11 Pro or Windows or 10, 11 Enterprise. So make sure your computer supports virtualization. So you want to make sure you have that. Make sure you have a decent memory on your computer. Make sure you have 255 gigabyte hard drive space and all that stuff. So yeah. Kev, did you mention your own teaching? Yeah, I have a teaching program. Install Hyper-V. So this is all the requirements to set up Hyper-V. And I'm gonna go to the next slide. These are just examples of setting up Hyper-V. I don't want to make this presentation too long. Then your labs, like I said, you can learn Office 365 admin for free. You don't gotta pay anything. Now when I go on social media and I go on LinkedIn, I go on Indeed, I go to Dice, all these websites are asking for Intune experience, Intra experience, Defender experience, all that stuff you can learn for free. If you get the Office 365 admin suite for 30 days, you can learn all that stuff for free. Obviously, the ticketing system is free as well. So you can learn Spiceworks, Jira, ServiceNow, all that is free. You can learn how to use a ticketing system for free. You don't got to pay anything. And you can learn Active Directory for free as well. If you set up a server with Server 2022, you download the ISO. The ISO is good for 180 days. And then you can run the command line to extend it for 60 days or 30 days. And you can learn about password reset, account creation, learn about how to add a PC to the domain, create a bunch of user accounts. If you don't have a computer that's fast, you could get a server for free, you could build an actual server for free using Microsoft Azure, using AWS, or using GCP, Google Cloud. That's entirely up to you. You set that up, and then when you're done, boom, 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 you just kill that instance and that's it. And you're good to go after that. So you don't get charged for that. All right. I didn't answer your question. Terry, I said that it's good information. It's not going to help you get a job, but it's good information to help you with Security Plus. All right. This is my T-Bet information for someone trying to get into IT or anything. Just research the company. This is my personal experience. So my slide is more like how I got into IT, but also I help you if you're trying to get into IT. My slides cover that information. So obviously research the company, show up on time, dress up professionally. Don't dress like me. I'm wearing a shirt right now. It doesn't make any sense, right? Practice your soft skills by recording yourself or have a family member interview you. Do some mock interviews, right? Those mock interviews are fun, like especially when you get like me. So you guys don't know anything about me. I work in cybersecurity. I'm a technical trainer, right? But I also teach at a community college. So what I do is I'll share my screen, have a student remote into my machine, and I put malware on the machine. I'm like, all right, you figure it out. Okay, why is this computer not working? Like, I don't know, man. You figure it out. So I'll put you out of your comfort zone. So it's like good, it's good training. It's good ways to learn, right? You want to get that person out of the comfort zone. So that's why, right? Obviously, carry copies of your resume if you're going to a conference event or you're going to an actual on-site job interview. I teach for Watt, Massachusetts. It's a community college. Obviously, don't look at Googling the answer. Learn how to. This is one that's a very important. Like, learn how to sell yourself, because a lot of people, like, when they go to a job interview, and I'm not saying be cocky. I'm not saying be cocky. I'm not saying don't sound like you're a douchebag. I'm saying sound like you know how to answer the question. Don't sound like you. If someone asks you about like Active Directory and you're like, oh yeah, Active, yeah, I know what Active Directory is. See how like the level of energy is so bad, right? Put up your energy level a lot higher and make yourself sound confident, not cocky, confident. Like you want to make sure you want to make sure you sound like you know what you're talking about, right? When you go for a job interview, you don't want to sound like this. You want to sound like you know what you're talking about, right? So that's why, like, do some research about the company and see if it's a right fit for you. Because remember, when you do a job interview, it's a two-way streak, right? They're interviewing you and you're interviewing them. The last thing I want you to do is you go into a job, you get that job, and then that job sucks. And you're like, Kev, damn it, Kev, this job sucks, Kevin. Why did I get into this job? And like, did you ask them any questions? No, I didn't ask them any questions. Did you do some research about the company? No, I didn't do that. And then you go into a job and your team sucks, your manager sucks, the company culture sucks, right? It's like, why are you in that environment? It doesn't make any sense, right? So you want to make sure you research about that company. And if you have an opportunity, like, reach out to someone that works in that actual job to see if they have the right cultural fit that fits you, right? Obviously, interviewing goes back and forth. Hopefully that makes sense. Obviously LinkedIn, I never used LinkedIn in my life, so that's why it says it never existed for me. So I never used LinkedIn in my life. I started using LinkedIn like literally 2020. I started using LinkedIn. Obviously build genuine connections. Talk to job recruiters. So sometimes you could email a job recruiter a copy of your resume to see if they're hiring on LinkedIn. I have done that before and it has worked for me. Obviously sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know. Make sure your profile is tech related, professional photo of you. Make sure you add videos are tech related on LinkedIn. So like some people show their labs on LinkedIn. Some people showcase what they know on LinkedIn, things like that, So Terry, you need my email address in order to add me. My friends list is full. I'm maxed out on connections on LinkedIn. That's why I haven't added anyone. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, obviously if you're gonna have a LinkedIn profile, make sure it has a professional picture. It does not look like you're like Instagram picture, like you having a shot of tequila or you're at a bar. That picture is inappropriate, right? You want to make sure you have a professional picture, suit and tie, or just professional dress clothes, right? When it comes to LinkedIn. And then add people that are real. Don't just follow people because you feel like it, right? You create those genuine connections. All right. And like I said, get yourself a mentor. Mentors are very important. They keep you accountable for your actions. They give you a career path with your structure. They keep you motivated. They tell you what you need to know based on their experience. Find someone that's successful that has the job you want. Talk to someone on LinkedIn and ask them polite to see how they see if they want to be your mentor, right? Maybe you go on LinkedIn. You go on LinkedIn, right? And you find someone that has a job in cybersecurity, or you find someone that's a network admin. Maybe you want to add them or send them a private message. Can we do a Zoom call for 10 minutes? I'll buy you coffee. I want to know what you did to get that job. I want to know what certifications you did to get that job. So those things are very important. When you email someone or message someone on LinkedIn, build that genuine connection and then find out more information about that person and then see how they got that job. That's the best way to do it. All right. And then, networking, join social events, join Discords, talk to hiring managers. Vest industry, I love vest industry because vest industry is free. It's free for civilians and also veterans. They actually put you in breakout rooms, and it gives you time to like tell a story about yourself, who you are, and you talk to hiring managers and job recruiters from Adobe, from Meta, from Twitter, from TikTok. It's a lot of hiring managers. So they join these social events called inside of Vets Tech industry, and it's free. You don't got to pay anything. So obviously they break you into small groups and they have you talk. And if you have a hard time talking, join Toastmasters. Toastmasters helps you get out of your comfort zone if you're not good at talking. All right. And I got hired inside. This is talking about how I got my job in cybersecurity. I literally got my job through networking. I didn't do anything special. I have no certifications. I don't have a degree. I don't have anything right now. So literally, I got hired because of networking. That's how I got my job. And people helped me a lot. When I reached out to help, people literally reached out and helped me. I asked for help. People helped me, right? So I gave back. When you give back, karma has a funny way of working, right? When you give back, it comes back to you 10 times fold, right? When you help the community out, people will look out for you. It's at the end of the day, it's a community, right? If you help other people, people look at it. Oh, this guy, he has spent his whole year helping everyone. Let's help him, right? So if you spend the time to help other people, people will help you. At the end of the day, it's just a community, right? That's how I look at it. So I don't look at anyone as competition. I look at everyone as a friend, an ally, right? Let's help each other, right? So that's how we should look at everything, if that makes sense. All right. And yeah, I asked for help. People helped me. That's literally how I got started. And that's literally how I got my job in cybersecurity. I didn't do anything crazy. And then my advice for new techs, obviously learn fundamentals. Talk to people who already have the job you want. Build a home lab. Network with like-minded individuals. If that person is toxic, get them out of your circle. You don't need any negative people around. Get rid of those people. You could keep those people. I don't want any of those negative people around. If you're a negative Nancy, I don't want you near me. Get away from me. If you're a positive person and you lift me up when I'm having a bad day, I'd rather have you than someone else. That's how I look at it. That's my mindset. Create a plan of action. Don't go all over the place, and get the right search and right skills that you need to get that job that you want. All right. And then last but not least, here are free resources if you want to work into it. Doesn't have to be IT specific. Some of these resources are for Linux, cybersecurity. I have my own website. I have my own mentoring program. I do tech training. I have my own free Discord. Their Cyber Mentor Dojo does free mentoring for people in cybersecurity. You don't got to pay anything. I always recommend the free stuff before you pay anything. I don't want you paying anything first. Take advantage of the free stuff. YouTube is free. Don't pay anything. Take advantage of the free stuff first, and then after that, we'll talk about making money or spending money. All right. So yeah. And then that's it. That's it for me. That's all I got for you for today. If you guys have any questions, I'll stop sharing. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll stop sharing everything. But yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it for me. I don't want to make this too long. But yeah, there are professional organizations inside. Yeah, there is a there's women in there's women in cybersecurity, there's blacks in cybersecurity. There's a lot of free companies that do training for cybersecurity. So I definitely recommend you look at those. Yeah, I definitely recommend you look at those. Oh, thank you, Ian Thomas. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. You guys have any other questions, let me know. But yeah, that's it for me. I don't have anything else. I'll let you guys go because I'm only able to talk for 30 minutes. So I'll let you guys go. I think they're gonna give you my I think they're gonna give you my information, my email address, my socials, and everything. It should be. They'll provide it. They'll provide it to you guys. So don't worry about that. You can ask me questions afterwards. So, it's on YouTube. Yeah, it's on YouTube. So I have a video on YouTube about LinkedIn branding. Yes, that's on YouTube. Anyone else have any? Oh, any advice how to pitch background and philosophy? I mean, if you work in communications, you technically have some experience with IT because you have to have communication skills if you're going into IT. I'm just saying. So trying to think about. Anyone else have any questions? This was fun. I enjoyed this. It was really fun. But I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye bye.